We are making this loose village side landscapes in this tutorial. This is inspired from a reference photograph from Painting References Facebook page. Hi friends, I am VanidasMangathil and let us learn watercolors together. If you are new to my channel, please do subscribe and press the bell notification so that you get notified whenever I release new videos. Without further ado, let us get into the tutorial. I am using a cold pressed watercolor paper, 100% cotton. The brand is an Indian brand called Chitrapat and it is around 300 GSM in thickness. I am making a very loose drawing. Okay, so it is a simple scene as you have already seen at the beginning. So very loose drawing will be good enough, and the pencil that I am using is a graphite pencil. It is called Artline Black Beauty. Okay, you can use any soft pencil for the drawing. Since it is mostly, the trees and bushes and other things, we don't need specifically accurate drawing. We can have simple loose drawing is good enough. Okay, some bushes in the foreground and some far end hill and a cloudy sky. That is the idea. All right. And these some fields and some sort of directional lines. These directional lines will help in getting the overall depth, good depth. Right. So I am using Mission Gold watercolors today. So I am using little bit of a burnt umber and orange color so that we get a warm underlying wash. So I am going to wash the entire paper with this color. It is a very pale wash of burnt umber, a touch of burnt sienna and a touch of orange. Adding slightly more water around the horizon area. I am using a soft mop brush for the washes, and it is the brand of the brush is Raphael, I think it is number 3 mop brush. Now I am mixing little bit of cobalt blue, touch of burnt umber and a touch of red. It's a mix of blue, burnt umber and little red, and I am making some suggestions for some dark clouds. Okay, so it's a kind of a rainy kind of an atmosphere, and the paper is still sort of damp, so you will find that the edges are becoming softer and it will form into some thick clouds. That is the idea. I think we can spray a little bit of mist using a spray bottle so that it kind of spreads more. Right, I think it is reasonably okay. The clouds are convincing, and we are adding the same color towards the bottom and then some burnt sienna so that we get some sort of muddy water kind of thing at the bottom, and let it dry now fully. Once it is fully dry, I am using little bit of blue, red and sort of brown. It is the same kind of the color used for the clouds, but it is slightly more purplish. So here I am using a round brush for the far end hills, mountains. And slightly darker color of the same. Right. I think it is fair enough. Now we need green color, so I am using Viridian and yellow ochre. I am mixing Viridian and yellow ochre and There is a stream of water between the hill and the greenish land. Okay, so let us fill this area, almost fill this foreground area with the same color, viridian green and yellow ochre. As it comes below, I'm slightly making it darker, thicker consistency, so that we get the sense of depth. Okay, slightly thicker consistency and slightly dark, then sort of some dry brushworks. I think this much is sufficient for the underlying wash, and we need now more darker tones for some tonal variations in the land. Okay, some darker touches somewhere. It's a thicker consistency paint, mix of burnt sienna and olive green. Here I am using a Chinese calligraphy brush for the dry brushworks. Okay, and for the bushes that will come next, I am using the same brush for the bushes also, which will come next, which is the next thing. Okay. Right, I think that is sufficient. Let us suggest some nearby bushes, some far end bushes. And I'm using the side of the brush. It's a calligraphy sort of brush, and you get some randomness when you use the side of the brush. Okay, it's a mix of olive green and maybe a little bit of viridian and burnt sienna. I'm using some the side of the brush for getting some random brush marks. Okay. This has to be a little thicker consistency paint, otherwise the 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 mountain, the hills at the background will be seen through. I don't want that to happen. So we may need slightly darker consistency paint. Darker consistency means thicker paint, I mean less water. I think it is fine, it is okay. Whenever you make these kind of trees, you try to get in some sort of a randomness within the groups of foliages that you have. A bigger tree maybe. These are very suggestive way of doing it. It is not a very precise way of drawing or painting. This is very loose and suggestive approach. Okay, maybe some random edge leaves. And whenever you do these kind of brushworks, have a step back and see the overall view of the picture, and then you see if it is convincing from a slight distance. I have splashed some water here to get some texture on the tree foliages, and now it is the turn for some darker touches. Okay. Let us make this directional line sort of a thing. So I am using a soft round brush. It's again same Chinese calligraphy brush. Okay, and let us make some dry brushworks. So dry brushworks means it's a thicker consistency paint, and brush applied little quickly so that it doesn't make a continuous solid mark on the paper. So a lot of things, so a lot of area will be untouched, so that it looks kind of more interesting. These dry brushworks are usually more interesting, and it is good to give dry brushworks for the details, suggesting the details. Some yellowish green, viridian and yellow ochre mix. Some kind of smudging always helps to diffuse the things at the distance. Okay. If you are finding value in this tutorial, please do subscribe and press the bell notification. And if you think it will be useful for your artist friends, please do share it. Please also drop some likes and share your thoughts, views and comments in the comment box below. The more you interact, and the more wider audience the video will reach to. So please help me in taking it to more wider audience by interacting with the video in terms of likes, shares and comments. Now let us make a sort of suggestion for a cow, maybe. I am using a neutral tint color here. It's a dark, thicker consistency paint, so it is almost like dark grey kind of a color, and I am using very thin small brush for this. Again, this is not a very precise drawing, just a suggestive way of representing the elements. Okay, I think I'll add a figure here, maybe red color for the shirt, and darker color, the same dark color for the lower body. I think this much is sufficient for the figures. Again, everything is suggestive. Some orange touch for the exposed body part, and some white highlights. The orange and white that I have applied now are directly taken from the tube without diluting. Okay. So, some texture, some color change for the cows. You may find some black and white patches for the cows. Okay, I think that's it. That is good enough, and we can treat it as done, in fact. So let us make the signature now. Okay, some shadows are left. Okay, signature, and we will close it. So hope this video was informative, and you found something to learn from this video. If you are finding it useful, informative, please leave some comments on the comment box below, and once again, please do share this to your artist friends. That will help a lot for taking the video to larger audience. So thank you very much for viewing the tutorial, and if you have any questions or suggestions, please let me know. We'll soon see you in another interesting tutorial, and happy painting until then. Bye bye.